of the dying and shameless, I see of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be.
And we are here on this Thursday to talk some Detroit Lions. A lot to go over. Rumors flying all around regarding our Detroit Lions. Why? Because we are 2 weeks away from the 2023 NFL Draft, where the Lions will upgrade the roster. And with me, I got a man, myth, the legend, the bald president. We got here Ant-Man. What's going on, Ant-Man?
Hey, Mike. Hope you're doing well. You kind of need this. It's just going to be nice to chat a bit of Lions, because I'm copping a lot of abuse from Bears fans today because I called Dan Campbell Chicago owning when I wished him happy birthday, and apparently they don't like that, but truth hurts, suckers.
Truth hurts. The Detroit Lions own the NFC North. Thank you, Dan Campbell. 5-1, and we have swept the Chicago Bears. That is hashtag Facts on Facts with Facts Crime. We got 9 Drinks, Weston, Lion, Mofo in the building, along with Rustin. And we got my guy, Paul Ginder, Grit, Jamie Ward, Robert, Raw Detroit, Raw Lions fan 12, Frog Crop, man, oh man, go blue, all sorts of people. Anthony, of course, the Ant-Man in the building, RQW, head and alcohol. I think that's what it says. I'm sure I destroyed that name. Why? Because Jeff Otten, I destroyed names as well, with Patty Graham and Lions Mania. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Why do you do that? Because it does help the channel out. Pushes the content out there. It's all about making that money and talking Detroit Lions and getting it out in the public for our football team to be OG in this bad thing. Did you hear about the report today, the rumor, Ant-Man? There is a said player the Detroit Lions like in the 2023 NFL Draft. It rhymes with Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson.
No, I pretended that it never happened. I have ignored it. I have evacuated it out my brain. I am taking no notice of it whatsoever because I don't want it to be true. So, no, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Tyree Wilson is rumored to be coveted by our beloved Detroit Lions. They have done a lot of work on the edge position, and they like Tyree Wilson. Why is that? His freakish, athletic body type. He is a guy that can get to the quarterback, even though it's not as much. There's a little bit of injury concerns there, but I think more importantly for him, it's the ability to stop the run, a bookend opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. We got a $2 super chat. I really do appreciate when you guys drop that dono, and it's from my man right here, Devin Davis, Will Anderson at 6. Look, even though we heard the rumor that they like Tyree Wilson, I fully believe that Will Anderson, if he was available and Tyree Wilson is available, they would go Will Anderson. Thank you for the $2 super. Thoughts about that, Ant-Man?
I'd dance through the streets if Will Anderson was still there at 6 and we were able to grab him. I'm guessing the infatuation with Wilson comes on the belief that, you know, Anderson and those guys might not be there at 6, so maybe he is the first realistic defensive guy off the board for them. But I'd be delighted if Will Anderson's there. But I don't know. The more I go through this process, the more I listen to, the more I hear about the Lions wanting to be aggressive, wanting to go up. I feel like, you know, there's an Anthony Richardson in the future of this franchise as well. I think that a lot of this defensive stuff might be smoke and mirrors. I think something big is going to happen.
Do you think it's a potential the Lions jump to 3? Do you think that potentially could be a big move that they do Is that an option? I mean, we did trade Jeff Okudah. We got another extra pick, 5th-round draft pick. Yeah, it's not a first round, but it is another piece of capital for the Lions to use in a trade scenario.
Yeah, I do. And I think we don't want a draft coming out of here with loads of picks, with 10, 11 rookies, because a lot of them might never make the roster given the depth there at the minute. I think that it might be a case where some of these picks are packaged and they are used to move up to get a specific set of players. And we've seen with Holmes these last years, they're very specific players they target. This is not just, we're going to let the board fall to us and see what happens. It feels like most spots they're at, especially in the first 2 days, there's very specific guys. And if they think they're going to lose them or they're not going to be there, they are not afraid to go and get their guy. So, I think this could all be part of a bigger plan here. And I fully believe it, because I think what they've shown in free agency, they've been aggressive. They know the NFC North's there for the taking. So if they think, right, we can get our 2 top guys, it's going to cost us a few picks, but if we go out there and get 2 absolute studs who we love, we push them over the edge. So I think there's a good opportunity that this aggression is very well founded. And if it's not 6, it's 18. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I think that I don't think we're going to get 5 picks in the top 85. I feel like something's going to change there and we're going to move up somewhere.
Let me know in the comment section right now. Do you believe the Detroit Lions, or would you want the Detroit Lions to jump up from pick 6 to pick 3, guaranteeing you're going to get a Will Anderson or an AR-15? I don't know if they're going to do the AR-15 thing. I just don't believe it, but you never know. It could be smoke and mirrors. That is what's good about Brad Holmes, is his ability to completely BS his way out of a situation to where you got teams guessing and having no idea what this guy is going to do on draft day, getting the player that he wants. Look, I think that they would like to get the edge rusher. I don't think this is smoke. I think this is legit. I don't think it's BS. I think they want to get that pass rusher to really make this defensive line absolutely ridiculous and stunning. I think that's what they would like to do, and potentially get a defensive tackle later in this year's draft. Right here, let's see. Says no, Derek Bittleman. He says no, do not want to trade up. Tyler says run that bad boy. Let's go ahead and get it. Says yes to Will Anderson, no to AR-15. Lions trade down and pick up picks 11. Very possible they're Patty Grimes. Why? Because the Tennessee Titans really want to get a quarterback, and I do think that's legit. But they could be a team that's going there to the 3rd overall pick as well. Raw Detroit, Raw Podcast says I want to get cornerback Brent's from Kansas State, absolutely. And the Lions Mania says no. So a lot of people are not wanting to trade up. Why would it be a good idea for you to trade up, Ant-Man?
Again, I don't think we need to be trading down and stockpiling picks for this draft. I don't really want to be coming away. We've got 8 picks already. I don't want to be coming away with 12, 13 players, whatever, and losing them on the roster. I'd rather get guys very specific for this roster. We've seen with it pretty much every pick they've made, there's, I think there is a little bit of best player available, but I think there is also that guy suits us. We need him. We're going to go get him. You saw with J-Mo, they didn't have to move with Penei and Aiden. They got the guys they wanted anyhow, but, they are they will move around and they will do what they need to get the guys there. So I think if moving up a little bit gets you those specific guys that you want, then you do it. We've got 5 picks in the top 80 already. We're already going to get some really good players. So, I think stockpiling for more, just go out and get the talent. You're in a good position. We've got the high pick from the Rams. Let's go use it. Let's go get some more elite studs, because that's what we're building this team on. We're building it on elite young talent, not just stockpiling picks and getting tons of players. We're getting very good players, very specific players for us. You've got to keep on following that formula. And if it costs you a little bit, then it costs you a little bit. But this is what it's all about. It's been very calculated. TJ, pick swapping, getting a little bit higher in the draft, just giving yourself that little bit of ammunition you need. And, I think if he's going to trade down, he's going to do it later. We've seen it. Get those round 4 picks, trade up a little bit. You've got picks in round 5. You've got picks in round 6. I fully expect them to get used and moved to get up into 4 or 3 if they want to. It's just what he seems to do with his picks there. So for me, I think it's a good thing if we start moving them, because we're going to get players who fit us and they're going to be damn good. And, wouldn't be what I'd do. I'd pick 5, but if they do it, I'll trust them.
Folks, in 2 weeks, we're going to be live at the Soaring Eagle Casino. It's going to be freaking legit. Herman Moore, Everything King, Dosa Dion will be live, and potentially with some former Detroit Lions going to be there. Maybe get like a Joik Bell that may be showing up, hanging out with us. Devin Gardner, former Michigan guy, and Terry Richardson. And we're looking to get more to hang out on that night. So make sure you show up at the Soaring Eagle Casino draft night, where we're all going to have a hell of a good time. We're going to be live streaming, of course. But guess what, folks? We're going to be in person, doing giveaways, throwing out some stuff, taking pictures, and having a fun time. So make sure you show up in that bad boy, because I'd love to meet y'all. If I ain't met you yet, you might as well come up and hang out with some OGs of this Lions game here. We got a super chat from my guy, James Dean. I freaking love that, by the way, the James Dean there. $4.99. Thank you so much. That's stationed over in Kuwait, and always love catching your streams. I hope you and Ant are doing well. I was in Kuwait as well. I was actually at Camp Virginia over there in Kuwait for a little bit, so I don't know what. Maybe you're at Arif John. It could be Arif John, but I appreciate you serving your country over there. I forget what time it is. It's got to be late at night over there right now. It's been a little bit since I've been in Kuwait, but appreciate you. Thank you for the super. James Dean is an absolute real one for sure. Show some love in the comment section, thanking him for his service. You're sitting there, Tyree Wilson. Why do you not want to get Tyree Wilson? What is it with Tyree Wilson to you that screams maybe this is not the right selection at pick 6?
Because it's traits-based, and I don't really like going traits-based so high in a draft. I know I'm being a complete hypocrite with Richardson there, but quarterback, I think it's a very important position. You can sort of forgive that. But for me, the problem is the get off, the explosion off the edge. I don't see a great edge rusher at the next level. I see a guy who's going to do better on the interior, but there's less tape of that available from the college level, I think. So where his strengths are, I've not seen too much of. And then on the edge, where he's done a lot of his stuff, I just don't think it'll go to the next level. I say the get off and the explosion's not there for me. And you are just basing it on he's 6'5" or whatever. He's the perfect size, perfect fit. You can do that with him, but that high from my skill players, I like to see like dominance at college. I like to see something really elite, really good. And for me personally, I don't see it. I just don't like going traits based that high, really.
Look, I get it. I think they would like to get an edge rusher, and I think they will with picks if they stay at pick 6. I truly do. But we're seeing also a lot in mocks, and I've talked about it on Tuesday, the concept of getting Bijan Robinson, the running back. A lot of people think that the Lions may look at him. And if he's available at 18, I know a lot of fans will be pissed off and annoyed, but I really do think that would be an absolute stud selection for the Lions. We don't have that many holes, folks. We really do not. And if you go BPA, best player available, that's how your team can be an elite roster. Adding a Bijan Robinson to this football team would be so much fun to watch on Sundays. Him just dominating the run game with this offensive line. What is your thoughts, again, Bijan Robinson available? Would you pull the trigger?
Oh, yeah, 100%. You put as much blue chip talent on your team as you can. And I know you've paid Monty, but, he'll be on a rookie contract. It's not going to kill you cap-wise. And, if you can have one good guy, why not get 2? Running backs get hurt. Running backs go down. We've seen with DeAndre Swift over the last few years that, injuries are a big part and parcel now. I know the same hasn't happened with Monty, but just keep adding. Good teams just keep adding talent. No matter how bad the depth gets, they'll just keep putting in great players. And if he's the best player on your board, you put Bijan, you take him out there, you use Monty as well, you will just run over teams. And like you said, the offensive line for us at the minute is our strength. We're not going to have it forever. there's going to be a time in a year or two when we're going to have to start replacing guys. Payments we might not be able to make, so you've got to pay them all. You've got to start replacing them. Lean on the game at its best when you can. Because if in 2 or 3 years your line's a bit funny, then, Monty's out of contract. You've still got Bijan. You're planning for the future. So I've got no issue with it. He's one of the best overall players in the draft. And Brad Holmes, why we've become so good is because we keep taking blue chip prospects. We don't trade the picks away for extra picks. We take the elite guys because that's what you build your team on. So just carry on doing it. If he's there at 18, you laugh your way to the bank because you've got 4 more picks in the top 80 to go with him as well. So you're still getting stud defenders. You still might be getting a quarterback. You're still getting him. Just keep loading up because you need that talent.
My guy Ant-Man is on fire. Seeing it, the chat, absolutely agree. He knows what the hell he is talking about, and I concur with him 110%. Right now, we got a nearly 200 in the building. Smash that like button. When we get to 100 likes, we're going to do a combo breaker and an ultra combo. That's the combo breaker. Got to get that bad boy in there. But before we do that, I got to do a special shout out to a special person to me right now. That is my girl, Nikki, Nikky. Show some love to Nikki in the comments section. Spam the comment section with Nikki, #Nickies. Hey, she's going to take me out, and we're going to get some ice cream here in Zeeland or in Holland area, and it's going to be epic time. She's a kick-ass person. Make sure you show some love to Nikki in the comment section. She's an OG, a real one, and the funniest damn thing is we actually worked at the same building, and we had no idea about it. So show some love in there. I'm already seeing it right now. So we think about Teddy Bridgewater. We did offer him the contract. Do you want the Lions to sign Teddy Bridgewater, backup Jared Goff?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I do, because we need a quarterback who can come in and win us games if he goes down, and we need to start. We have a window in the NFC North now. There is an opportunity there to take it and win it. And we can't afford to let this season get away from us if Goff gets hurt for half a dozen games or gets knocked out for the season, God forbid. Hopefully not. But we need to have a backup in place where we can still win games. It's critical for the development of this team and for the legitimacy of Campbell and Holmes. They've got to keep going forward. The second it starts looking like progress is going backwards, things might turn very quickly. So you've got to keep going forward. You've got to keep making progress, and you've got to protect yourself by having a guy who can win your games. So I've always said if we're going to throw a little bit more money his way, given the good cap work Brad Holmes has done, even if it's just a 1-year deal on a bit more money to provide security for us, I will do that quite happily, because you don't need Teddy to come in and be a top 15 quarterback if he is coming in back in games, because you've got a kick-ass run game, especially if you've got Bijan in as well. You've got a good O-line, you've got a run game you can lean on, and you can let him do his thing, which is, be a solid quarterback at this level who can help you win a game. So, yes, absolutely, I would give him the money. I would give him a little bit more. It's 1 year. It won't hurt you in the long run. Do it if you need to.
1 year, and it's not going to cost a lot, folks. We're not talking about $7-8 million for a backup quarterback. That's not what we're getting here. We're not talking Trubisky money, $13 million. Right now, if I were to come up with a amount, it's probably $4 million. $4 million to pretty much give you an opportunity to win a game if Goff goes down. That is an insurance policy I like. Look, I'm not a fan of paying insurance. I don't like paying insurance on my car, but damn it, when I'm a Lions fan and I want to win a game, I like to have a little bit of insurance, and I think Teddy could hold it down for a game or a couple of drives. That is worth it to me to make sure that the Lions get into this thing and win the NFC North. And I would love to win a playoff game, but we got to make sure that we do it. Oh, Nikki is in the building. Make sure you show Nikki some love right there. That is my girl. I made her an operator right there, or a managing moderator right there. There we go. Now she can do whatever she wants. She is an OG, folks. OG. She's going to take me out. We're going to get some ice cream. Like I said earlier, we worked together. We didn't even realize it. So really cool. So make sure you show her some love in the comment section. She is an absolute real one. Can't wait to get that ice cream. I don't know about what ice cream do you like? And man, I got to say, I like Oreo. I do love it. That's some good stuff right there. I like Blue Goo. That's some yummy ones. What about you? And in the comment section, throw in your favorite ice cream.
I don't know if it exists over there in the old states, but I am a rum and raisin guy, so I absolutely love my alcoholic ice cream. Rum and raisin, kick ass, absolutely love it. So that's the one I always go to.
I love ice cream. Nice, not as much as some people, but damn it, especially right now, 75 degrees here in Holland, really nice. Get some ice cream down the throat. It's really good. We got caramel in the comment section. We got Moose Tracks, Rocky Road, chocolate and peanut butter, Nicky Butter Pecan. Okay, yeah, that's some good stuff. Vanilla beans, chocolate, Superman. I do like Superman. That is some good stuff. Blue Kool-Aid ice cream. I tell you what, I don't want the Jim Jones ice cream. That stuff will put you in a coma and then death afterwards. We don't need no Jim Jones ice cream over here, but Superman is some good stuff. Cookie dough, all right, I see you. Yeah, my kids love cookie dough. That is their favorite. Mint chocolate chip, good as well. Mackinac Island fudge, okay, you going all the way up north. Get into what the Lions need to do now in this draft, because everything's draft now. 2 weeks away, big freaking day. What is one player in this draft? It doesn't necessarily need to be a first-round pick. It could be an undrafted guy that you want the Detroit Lions to get, that this could be someone that really takes the Lions over the top like James Houston did last year. What is somebody you think the Lions should target?
Oh, Diane Henley, absolutely 100% all the way. I'm Diane Henley's biggest fan in the entire world because the Detroit Lions need a coverage linebacker like I need hair, and I really need hair. So it's a case of when you want to add to your roster, you want to add to something that's not already on it. I love the love for Jack Campbell. He's a great player there, but I think you've got those hard-hitting linebacker types in the middle already. We don't have a guy who can tack on running backs. We don't have a guy who can match up against tight ends. We don't have that guy with his skill set. He's a former wide receiver, so intimate knowledge of route running, of being able to intercept, being able to keep up with these guys. And I just absolutely love the ability. I mean, what's killed us in this league more than anything in past years, Mike? Running backs and tight ends. The inability to defend against them has been just something that's been such a sore point for us, and we need people in the center of the field who we can deploy against these weapons getting used against us. He's that guy. He's going to take a little bit of developing, but in a year's time, you're going to be damn well glad that you took him. So more than anyone, I want him on this roster because it's something I've screamed about for years now. That coverage in the middle of the field is not good enough. It needs to get better. You've got a stud guy there who you can train and sort that issue. I want him big time.
You make a great point there because you know what the comp is for Diane Henley? And I think everybody's going to know this guy. It's called DeAndre Levy. That is a damn good comp to have because Levy was a stout force in the middle, getting turnovers, absolute game changer. He's the reason we won a lot of those games back in 2014 because his ability and awareness to see where the football is and understand what the quarterback is going to do. So if you got a Henley like that can really watch the quarterback, it can really be a game changer. You're talking about getting a player that gets turnovers, right? We have a lot of players in the secondary that we picked up in free agency that gets turnovers. Turnovers win football games. Give it back to this offense. Jared Goff, go down there, score points. Lions win football games. So I'm definitely warming up to him a lot more than I previously would. I still like Trenton Simpson a little bit more. But I tell you what, if we get Henley, you're not going to see me cry at all. I would be really ecstatic. I think you get him in round 2. Perfect spot for him, whether it be a 48 or 55. Lions looking really good. I like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, quarterback there, UCLA. I think is a good developmental quarterback to sit behind Jared Goff, and if they got a Teddy Bridgewater, who else? I think that's someone that the Lions can rely on as well to understand that the mobile quarterback, he does got that mobility to him. It's not going to cost a lot to have a guy back there to help out this defense and prepare for the quarterbacks like a Justin Fields that we going against, a Patrick Mahomes, somebody that used their legs to really kick our ass last year, and that was our Achilles heel. So if we can get a guy out there that we can develop, potentially has a really upside, and I do think he does, and also give a chance to help our defense out immediately due to his reads and his legs. I think that is something that would be invaluable for the Lions defense, and I'm loving seeing some of these mock drafts where a lot of people are really falling in love with him coming to the Detroit Lions. I think that would be an option. What is one player or position, the opposite of what I just said, that you do not want the Lions to select? You're like, no way, this can't happen. This player, go F off. What is someone for you that you would say no to the go?
I mean, it's difficult because I think I think O-line early would be my thing that I wouldn't do, because I think the O-line is in its peak at the minute and it's doing well. I'd be picking up developmental guys to build this year. I might do it on, in round 3. I might do it round 4, etc. If we get some picks there. I don't think I'd like to do it early, because I would like to go elsewhere, especially with good corners knocking round. We've got, a lot of running backs. We've got a lot of groups we can get at. And plus, I like a lot of the development O-line guys. So I think O-line early would be the one I wouldn't want to. I'm not high on edge at 6 either. I don't think it's that big a need. I don't think we've seen the best of Pascal yet. We've got Hutch. We've got Houston. Romeo and Charles are going to be fighting for the career. I agree we should maybe get another, but I would be a guy, again, later on who will develop this year whilst all the big guys take the major snaps, see if we can, see if Harris and Romeo can have a long-term future here. So I'm just not keen on edge dead early, and I'm not keen on O-line dead early either. I'd wait a little bit. That's my own personal thing.
I think everybody knows where I'm going with this one. This is beating a dead horse till the dead horse is freaking dead in a grave and the bones coming out after being in the grave for 50 years, and that's the tight end position. Cannot do it. Don't want to see it. Don't want to see Michael Mayer in a Lions uniform. We need to stay away from that tight end position. We've drafted too much of these guys. Need to focus on something else besides TE, because TE give me some PSD, and we don't need to have that over here, folks. We are 7 likes away from 100. If we get that 100 mark, we are going to give you the Ultra Combo.
They are who we thought they were.
And we want that Ultra Combo because it's funny as hell and it's having a good time. And then right now, we're just going to go ahead and start up the Mailbag segment. So put a hashtag Nikki if you want your question answered, hashtag Lions if you want your question answered, hashtag your favorite freaking ice cream, whatever you want. Throw that in the comment section. My eyes will see it. I will pick it up. You can ask me, the Ant-Man himself, whatever you want. If I miss it, copy and repaste it. That's exactly what you got to do, because there's 250 in here, and it is what it is. I'm going to miss it. They said, I can barely hear combo. It's all good. Well, we just hit it right there. So here we go.
Ultra Combo Breaker.
We love it, man. One more time.
Ultra Combo Breaker.
We hit the 100 likes. You guys are a real one. I really do appreciate it. That helps the stream out, pushes that content out there. We got a question from my man, Lions Matey, hashtag Lions. Jalen Carter at 6 and Deonte Banks at 18, or Devin Witherspoon at 6, or Kalijah Kancey at 18. Ant-Man, what would you take?
Oh, that's tough. That's actually really tough. I'd take the second one. I'd take Witherspoon and Kancey. Yeah, only by a little bit, though.
I think I'm with you. I think I'd do that as well. I love Witherspoon's ability to hit, even though we don't need corner that big of a deal. My God, I love the way he hits. I really missed when we had Diggs, Quandre Diggs here in Detroit, because he was a hitter and he plowed folks over, and it really made wide receivers contemplate on picking that football up after being thrown to them. And so that's something I'd like to have here. Stephen Likings, hashtag Lions talk by Chat Sports. Do you guys see the Lions doubling down at any position during the draft? I could see a spot where they do something like that for sure. Maybe they wanted to go offensive line. Maybe they want to get a guard at one position or turn around and get a tackle in the other. I think that's very possible. For sure. Edge is something else, or linebacker, because we do hybrid positions. So just because you draft a linebacker doesn't necessarily mean that is going to be a linebacker on game day. What do you think, Ant-Man?
Tight end.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike. I had to.
You're going to give me a migraine.
I agree. I think the offensive line, we will double dip. I think that'll be day 2 and 3, though. I think there's still a situation where we double dip at corner, especially now Jeff has gone, because, again, we've only got Sutton under contract after this year with Iffy and Chase Lucas. So still not a lot in the long term there. So I can still see them getting 2 studs in this draft and protecting the position long term in case Mosley and CJG ball out and do really well. I mean, if Branch is technically one, if we're calling him a corner, then they're definitely going to double dip. Outside of that, maybe. I think the defensive line, I class it as one. I think they'll take multiple defensive linemen as well. So, offensive line and corner will be my 2 big candidates.
Brandon McCain, #Niggy, #Lions, #MintChocolateChip. How do you feel about trading out of the second round and back up into the first round, maybe for or snag Bijan Robinson? I'm absolutely for it. I think that would be a phenomenal move. I have no problem having 3 first-round picks. I believe in getting premium talent just like Brad Holmes does. If you feel that there's a player slipping that can make your team dynamic, don't hesitate and jump up there and not get it. Just go do it. They did it last year with Jamison Williams. They nearly did it with Penei Sewell. So I believe in that. And we got a ton of draft picks. We do 9 draft picks right now. So if you feel there is a guy that's going to come in here and make an immediate impact and help the Lions win the division as well as win a playoff game, go do it. Absolutely. And I agree and concur with that sentiment. So go do it. Raw Podcast, #Mike and Ant-Man. What do you know about cornerback Julius Brents? He is the only cornerback to almost met with team's 6'3" hitter at cornerback. I don't know nothing about him. Have you heard about Brents?
I know Brents is probably one of the most underappreciated talents in this draft. I think he's just steadily gone about his career at Kansas State, and he's been incredibly good. And I think he's just one of those who's been buried by a very deep corner class. I know there's been a lot more chatter about him recently. I can't tell you complete specifics about his game, or that he's been a really good player. So, yeah, I mean, he's just been buried in a big class. That's the thing with him.
What are safeties do you like, and how do you cover tight ends? This is interesting. I think you can go and get like a Jordan Battle in the 3rd round. I don't necessarily believe you got to get anything early because we got good safeties here with Gardner Johnson, who's a safety. You can play nickel as well. Then you have, obviously, Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker, who's coming back. So I don't necessarily believe you have to get one early. Maybe get a hybrid player. Jordan Battle, he last year would have been a 2nd-round draft pick. He's probably going to fall the 3rd round this year, maybe in the 4th round. That's something you can get. Is there another safety you think the Detroit Lions should look to potentially get?
In terms of my own preference, I am a JL Skinner fan. I like having a team that has a safety that can knock the 7 bells out of you when he hits you. And he is that sort of safety in the draft. When he hits you, you stay hit and you stay down. But he tore his pec, I think, during training. So I don't know what's going on with him. So it's a bit of a shame there. And for the Lions, the big one I love is Christopher Smith, the safety from Georgia. I just think he ticks every box here. Veteran leader. You know, he's been captain on that all-conquering Georgia defense there. I love the way he plays in coverage. I love the way he reads the game. His IQ's so high. I would love Christopher Smith here. More than anybody, I think, even a little bit more than Skinner. So, yeah, Christopher Smith is the one I would have in a heartbeat, and I hope he's under consideration by them. I think he would suit the 2 guys we've got here very well, and you would build him up to be a leader in that secondary long term.
Again, in 2 weeks, we're going to be at Soaring Eagle Casino live. We're going to have Herman Moore, obviously, and some former Lions players, Joik Bell. Get some great players to talk about the NFL draft. Make sure you show up there. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to be live in front of a crowd. We're going to do giveaways. It's going to be a fun time. So, again, NFL Draft, Night 1 Thursday. We will be live streamed, but you can be in person at the casino hanging out with myself, Dosa Dion King, Herman Moore, Chrissy, and the whole freaking spiel and whole crew. Hashtag Mike, what do you guys think if we trade a 5th and a 6th for a couple of third-round picks next year? So to give up draft picks now to get something next year, I'm fine with that. I don't know if that would happen in this year's draft, though. I think you would have to kind of get a situation where a team would want a certain player really quick for them to move up. Say if they wanted to get a player in the 5th round, they trade a 4th round pick or a 3rd round pick and something else to move in. I think that would be a situation there. I don't know if it'd be more of 2 picks. But I know that myself is a little different here from Ant-Man. He wants to get the players. Now, I have no problem acquiring capital for next year. But that's just different philosophies, and it's perfectly fine. We all have different philosophies there. Panic Cake, Riley, hashtag Nikki, hashtag FGB. Do you think Kaminsky in a cast looked like Mega Man last season? I'm going to miss the club out there. First off, I wish he would have painted it blue. I think that would have been epic, hilarious, because obviously the Lions are blue. He gets the Mega Man hand on there. Never thought about it. Love the game. I will miss the club. Damn it, I wish you would have told me a little bit earlier. That would have been absolutely hilarious, for sure. Do you think he looked like Mega Man?
He looked cool. I'm just gonna say he looked cool with it on. It just looked like he was gonna absolutely beat the hell out of someone. Did he? He's like, yeah, you're getting my way, then you're staying down. So I enjoyed it, but I'm just looking forward to seeing Kamish back here next year. I'm so glad he's re-signed and he's back. He earned a new deal here, and he's just part of this new breed of guys we've got here, haven't they? Don't care where he's come from, what he's done. He's just going to ball out for us here, play well. So I'm just looking forward to seeing Kamish next year.
Trading up to 3 does not appeal to me. What is your thoughts from Man Bear Pig, the great name? I got to say that I'm fine with it, getting a talent that you want. If you feel Will Anderson is going to make your defense, in which I do, scary-ass good with 2 bookend edge rushers, I have no problem. Go get it. Like I want to have an elite talent base on this football team. That's what I want. I want to have players that are werewolves that will cut your head off. It's time for us to have names defensively. We got names on offense. It's time to have names defensively. I mean, would you give up a couple picks to make sure you got Aiden Hutchinson last year? Say you're a couple down? I think a lot of people say, hell yeah, I would. And I think it's the same thing here with Will Anderson. I would do it. We're just not in the position to instantly grab him. But yeah, for sure. Hashtag smash the hole. Wish I could meet you all at the casino, but job comes first. Job always comes first. No doubt about it. Got to pay bills. Absolutely, for sure. Would you trade up Ant-Man to get a Will Anderson at 3 or another player?
I'd trade up for Will Anderson or Anthony Richardson, and that is it. But again, it all comes back to the ethos of which I'd rather have less players, but they were more talented, because that's how Brad Holmes operates, and that's how our teams become so good. He's shown he can find depth in free agency, on the waiver wire, in undrafted free agency. So let him sort the depth outside of the draft. Get your blue chip talent that you're going to have long term at your franchise in the draft. So for those 2, I would, yeah.
Mr. Retro, hashtag Mike. Besides Robinson, what other offensive player could we get in the 1st round or early in the 2nd round? I've talked about him as well, because I love this man. I think he'd be phenomenal in the offensive line, Osiris Torrance. I would love to have that big-bodied guard next to Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow and just maul folks on the line of scrimmage. Right now, we have question marks at the guard. Can Big V stay healthy? He took a massive reduction in contract, and when I see that reduction in contract, to me, it feels like he's not the long-term solution at the guard. Obviously, Graham Glasgow is not the long-term solution. He is a one-hit fix right now. So if you wanted to get an offensive player, I'm going with the big ugly in Osiris Torrance. What about you, Ant-Man? Is there a different offensive player besides Bijan?
There's 2. The other would be Jahmyr Gibbs, another running back, because I just think that he's the best dual threat running back, and I think our offense needs one to operate with. And I love Bijan if he's at Almonte, but Jahmyr really gives it for us. The other guy I would, who is a complete and utter luxury, and Mike, close your ears for this one because I don't want you to hear this. I'd take Dalton Kincaid as well. I know you don't want a tight end, but I want a guy who's got a ceiling that's so high.
He needs some milk.
I told you to close your ears, Mike. I warned you. You went through that one when you didn't have to. So, but I know I would. I think Dalton Kincaid's going to be something special in this league. So if I got loads of good defensive guys earlier on and I wanted to add something into my tight end unit, I'd do it. So I'm really sorry, Mike, but him or Jahmyr Gibbs, I'd really quite like. I mostly want defenders early on in this draft. I think my first 4 guys were defenders. And then my 6th one
I think all of this is on the fence that you're going to go a little bit more defense than offense, but we're not going all defense. That's ridiculous. They're going to get some offense there. If we got 9 picks, I could see 5 being defense. One of those things where it's close. I think we all want to get this defense squared away. We're tired of it. We're tired of seeing the defense suck cheeks, so we need it to get better. Mofo Jimbo, #draft. How come we haven't heard much of Nolan Smith to the Lions? Because I think a lot of it is the fact that we're sitting at pick 6, and a lot of people believe the Lions are going to take an edge there. That is why, and I don't think they're going to take 2 edges in this year's draft. We just don't got the amount of roster spots for that position. We just don't, because even right now we have a ton of edges, and that's why Ant-Man doesn't want to get an edge, because we got a ton of edges. Totally get it. So you're not going to go and get 2 of these at the same position. You're probably going to get one at 6, and that's it. Julian Okwara, he's got to be gone. He's got to be gone if you take an edge there. And we reduced the amount of money for Charles Harris and Romeo. That means Julian's got to go. So that's the reason why. Record prediction for this year. I got the Lions getting 11 wins. 11 wins. I think 11 wins can be done. I think with the roster, with offense, top 5, I still think it's going to be a killer offense. And this defense taking a significant jump from 32 maybe to 15. The Lions should be able to get 11 wins. What is your thoughts on this one, Ant-Man?
I mean, I want to believe that we're going to do better. The trouble is, for me, I need to see the schedule first, because that road schedule is brutal next year. And if you get 3 or 4 of them big trips early, because I mean, we're at the Cowboys, we're at the Ravens, we're at the Saints, we're at the Chiefs, we've got the Packers, we've got the Chargers. If we get handed something pretty brutal early on and we can't get going, then that might just disrupt the whole season. Where if the schedule's a little bit more forgiving to start, allows us to get ahead of steam, because we're 1-6 in the first month of the last 2 years. We don't traditionally start that well. Then I think we can get up to 11, 12 games. But yeah, I don't want us to get hammered by those hard road trips early. Otherwise, we might be in a bit of bother.
Let me know in the comment section, what is your win total? Just put 11, 12, 1, 17. What do you think the Lions' win total is going to be? I do have 11, and if you think, oh, I'm a homer, that is not the case. If you've watched my channel over the past 4 years, I am definitely not a homer when it comes to win-losses. Why is that? Because I would rather be correct than be a homer, in all honesty. And so I just think that this roster is that damn good right now. No excuses not to get some wins. Orange Shawl, #Lions, #Nikki. Do you think the Lions will trade for any current NFL player during the NFL draft? That's an interesting question there. I don't know. I would side on the idea of not. I think we are a draft team first. I think that's how they look at this roster, is just getting players via the NFL draft. But you never know. We don't really know what players are tradable on the market from other teams. You'll hear rumors. It doesn't happen much, trading players at a draft. It does happen. I'm going to say no on this one. What do you think, Ant?
I think it's an intriguing question.
Yeah.
I think the ones that I see the most are Tennessee defensive guys. When there's mocks, the Titans trading up to us and us switching, us taking a guy off them as part of the deal. But I don't know. I just feel the way we're at, the way we're balanced, we've got some expensive draft classes coming up. We've got Jonah to pay next year. If you're taking stud players off a team and you've got to pay them, then I don't know if the cap repercussions are necessarily that great for us. So I would prefer to draft, I think, just so that we can pay our guys who will be coming up, and we're not going to risk that, put it in any jeopardy or anything. But if they were to do it, it would not surprise me. 5 picks in the top 80. Again, if you gave 18 away for a stud like A.J. Brown or so, I'm not saying it's wide receiver, but someone like that, and you gave 18, you came away with an elite NFL player and 4 top 80 draft picks, and that's still a pretty good draft, isn't it? So I don't think they will, but I would not be opposed to it depending on who it was.
The Philadelphia Eagles did that last year, and they acquired the wide receiver, really took them all the way to the Super Bowl. He was a really good piece for them, and if a player comes available, you always got to look at every single option as a general manager. You don't just throw it away and say no just because it's a player. You got to look at everything, and I think that's important as well. Just like Devin White right now requested a trade, Lions should at least make a phone call on Devin White. I'm going to ask you this one, Ant-Man. Would you trade for Devin White?
I'm not sure, because I've seen Patrick Queen's on the market as well, and I think I'd rather do that deal instead. But if we weren't going to draft a linebacker, if I sort of had hindsight that we weren't going to spend one of those top 80 picks on a linebacker, then yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat, because I want one, and I want a good one. And I know people, some people say he's not the best in the world. I think he's an upgrade on what we have.
Yeah.
And I think we would do well. I think he would do well here. He, seems to me like a guy who would fit in quite well here, and his skill set would be very useful. So I might do it. I prefer to draft one, but no, it depends what the price is.
Over and under 3 draft moves this year from Paul. I'm going to take the over. I don't think we end up with 9 draft picks. I'm going to just be honest here. I will take the over that they make some moves here, whether it be in day 2 or day 3 of this draft. I just think that is something that they are going to do. What do you think? Over and under on 3?
Oh, that's interesting. So I think they're going to move, because we've got 2 5ths and 2 6ths now, right? Mm-hmm. If that's my understanding. I believe we do. So I think some of those are going to get used to trade up into the 4th. I think one of the seconds might get traded down to get us something in the 3rd or 4th range. Maybe just get us in that sweet spot area where Draft Holmes likes to draft. And I think one of the firsts may move. So I could see a position where there's 3 moves. I would say 2 up, 1 down. I think that's how I'd do it. So, I mean, I've got 3, so I guess over, under on 3. I guess I'm hitting the middle. I can't hit either. If it's 2.5, then I'm going over. If it's 3.5, I'm going under.
There you go. He's doing the political correct answer right then and there. Hashtag FG or FCB, F Chicago Bears. Did y'all hear about the Bears saying they're going to be the top of the NFC North? I did not hear that. Talk is cheap. They're at the bottom. Do I think they're at the bottom? Potentially. Maybe not. Maybe they'll be 3. Talk is cheap. You got to go through Detroit. Come on down, Chicago. You got swept last year. Come on, you got to be able to win a game against the Detroit Lions before you take the North. What do you think about Bears saying they're going to take the division?
I mean, Bears fans are really getting on my nerves at the minute. But they do have a decent quarterback. They are primed to get a lot of help this offseason. Obviously, you've got all the cap money they have. They've got draft picks. So that's why I'm so eager for the Lions to not start pushing capital to the future this year. I want them to carry on building, because this is an arms race with them now, and I don't want to be in second place. I am done finishing bottom of this division. I am done with these teams beating us. There is an opportunity to get to the top. You get to the top, and you work your ass off even harder when you get there to stay on the top. I want them to feel like they are getting smothered by us, and that whatever they do, no matter how hard they try, they cannot best us. So that's why I want us to invest so high in the draft this year, carry on building and staying in front of them. If we carry on the way they are not finishing above us next year, and I would be disgusted if they were. I really would. This team is setting its standards. It's now got to start meeting them, and the standards are not finishing below them.
It is time for us as the Detroit Lions fan base to be master beaters in the NFC North. It is really important that we be the master of beaters. and we own this division. It is no more second place. We need to be on top. Hashtag Nikki, if J-Mo gets 1,500 yards, are we in the Super Bowl? Oh, my God, if J-Mo got 1,500 yards, that would be absolute. We'll talk about a jump. Whew. I don't know about Super Bowl, but damn, you'd be a good football team if that happens. That means Jared Goff and J-Mo got on the same page, and they're tearing teams up because you know that Amon-Ra is going to get his. So that would be, and you're running the football too. So that would be a damn good one. What do you think?
Oh, God, I'd be in heaven if he got 1,500 yards this year. We know what he is capable of. So, yeah, I think it would be great. I mean, you're going to get yards on the ground with him as well. You've seen how they've already started using him on the motions, the jet sweeps. So I think all-purpose 1,500 yards is well within capability for him. And I would like to see, he's our star weapon. I would like to see us use him. And the trouble is we've got too many other weapons at wide receiver for teams to really devote resources to him. So he should have the opportunity to go out there and do his business.
Do they remove the cursed William Clay Ford patch this year? I think they do. It has been on there for a long time. I think it's about time they can take it off now. I don't know anything on this. In all honesty, I haven't heard any news that potentially them replacing it. I'm going to just go ahead and say they do this year. What do you think about the patch?
I mean, I guess for people who've been around longer supporting the franchise, I guess it is more of a curse. For me, it's just a patch on a shirt. Yeah. The real curse of this team is not winning. That is the only curse this team has. And to get rid of this curse, we need to win games, and we need to win meaningful games. And we started towards that last year. And I think we're going to go on and do it this year. We've got, like I say, a lot of big road games that people would expect us to lose. I think we're going to start winning those. I think we're going to win the conference. I think we're going to win a playoff game. So that is the only curse that needs removing. And as far as the guys in the building, Campbell, Holmes, the players, they don't know the curses of Lions past exist. All they see is up for them. So, yeah, that's the only curse. So don't worry about a patch on a shirt. Just go out and win games.
Don 19, how y'all feel about the offensive line in the first round? What do you think about that? Taking offensive lineman round one, whether it be a 6 or 18?
No. This is my only personal preference. No, because I've got starters at all 5 positions on the offensive line at the moment. Now, granted, you could let them sit a year and that, but I think Decker's still got a couple of years here. Sewell is going to be here forever and a day, hopefully for all time. You know, Ragnow's only 26 at center. Jonah's still pretty young. So I would rather invest my picks on the O-line, on very talented guys, but who aren't there yet, who will, in a year or two's time, when we do start needing them, will be ready then. Not ones who could potentially be ready as soon as next season, because you know, you're going to have a log jam then. So I just personally would rather get the development guys and work them into the system gradually whilst I let the starters do their business. But I can see people saying we need quality depth, so it could do, but I'd rather do it the other way. That's my own personal opinion.
Dragon fans, hashtag Fatal Ice Cream. Will Ash at 84 Herman Moore be signing autographs at the Soaring Eagle? Yes, he will be signing autographs and hanging out. So you can have a conversation, get your 84 stuff signed, and it's going to be a good time. And it looks like that we're going to have other players there, former players there as well. Not 100% confirmed, but it's definitely looking like that. So it wouldn't be potentially just him. Is this Ben Johnson's last year in Detroit? I'm going to say yes, it is. If he does anything like he did last year, I think he would be an explosive hot commodity for a head coaching job, and I would say yes, it would be. What do you think about Ben Johnson, head coach, next year?
I mean, I'd say this for both coordinators. They've both got to have top 15 units, and I think in Glenn's case, he'd probably need top 10. And I think maybe in Johnson's case, if they're top 10 units next year, they'll get head coaching jobs. But Ben Johnson's got to prove now that he can marshal this offense and he can take it into a postseason and still win games. He needs to show that if he wants to be a head coach, he can do it when it really matters. He did it in the Packers game last year. I guess that was under a lot of pressure, but this year for the Lions as a whole, it is about proving that you can take this franchise to the next level. So I think if you do, I think there will be red-hot commodities. If not, the star may fall because other teams might do well, other coordinators might burst onto the scene, and there's only so many jobs you can get. So I still think both of them have a lot of work to do, and they've both got to have top-tier units next year to do it.
Devin Davis, hashtag FGB. Do y'all know if Rodgers made his choice yet? Because we need out of the division. He is going to be a Jet. He's gone. He made his choice. He will be a New York Jet next year. It's 100% done for his decision. The trade hasn't happened yet because they're trying to work out the comp. The Packers want to get a first-round pick. The Jets don't want to give up a first-round pick. But he is gone. He's not going to be here in the NFC North in 2023. His last pass was to Kirby Joseph. Just think about that. His last pass in the NFC North was to Kirby freaking Joseph. So it's nice, though. I want to find a clear number one tight end in this draft. We don't need, here's my personal opinion here. I respect you, Zach, but we don't need to have we got Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra, and James Mitchell. They do phenomenal when they're on the field. They're perfect. Our tight end numbers went much improved after we got rid of our number one tight end in TJ Hawkinson. We don't utilize a tight end like other teams do. We generally do more to the running backs and wide receivers. So we don't need to get that number one stud. We just don't use it. What do you think?
So I just want to say this to the chat. If you want to see on the next stream Mike wearing a shirt that's saying, "We don't need no tight end," spam it in the comments now, because I would love to see Mike with a shirt saying that.
I'm telling you right now, I think that would be a phenomenal.
We'll get one printed.
Maybe I'm going to send it to
no
Chrissy. Get that printed for the draft. I'll wear it for the draft. We don't need no tight ends. Hey, we got Motor City Sports Talk in the building. One of the guys that I listen to, make sure you subscribe to Motor City Sports Talk. CJ, good fella, good channel over there. Love his takes. Love what he does. Great guy. Got to get him back on the pod, and I got to jump over there for his shows too. Love talking to him. Great, great channel. It is Motor City Sports Talk. We all know who he is. He's been doing this thing forever. Hashtag Karen Rodgers sits down when he pees. That has been confirmed to be factual. So he does take a seat when he got to take a leak. There's absolutely no doubt about it. It is 100% correct. Absolutely true. Our team tight end did great after the trade. Yeah, they did, and they really look good. They really look good. There are some nice tight ends available. Why not? I love you, Dr. D. I love you, my man. I just disagree with you. I love you, my man. I just disagree. I'm just happy with what we got. I just want a year where we don't take a tight end. Just 1 year. I feel like since I've been really covering this Lions, just like taking it to the next level, it's tight end every year. It's like, man, come on, man.
So if anyone's with Mike at the draft coverage at the casino and we draft a tight end, just press record on your phone because I want to use the noise he makes as a soundbite. It will be an epic soundbite if we
oh
take a
man, I'm gonna lose it. I've already told Herm and everybody if this happens, I'm taking my headset off and I'm just walking. I am done with it, folks. We've been on for an hour, and it is our time to end the show. I really love it when Ant-Man gets on here. Ant-Man, tell the folks about your channel. Recently, 1,000 subs. Why they need to subscribe to that bad boy.
Yeah, you can find us at Roar of the Lions UK. We're a group of Detroit Lions fans over the Atlantic here in the UK. We give a different take. Well, not a different take, but a British perspective on all things Detroit Lions. So if you want to come and check us out, please do so. We go live on Mondays. I go live to the college football podcast with one of the other guys on a Wednesday. We do all sorts. So if you fancy something a little different for your Lions content, then please do come check us out. And to everyone who already has, we appreciate the hell out of you. We don't deserve 1,000, so we great guys like Mike here. So
you deserve
we try our best.
100,000. They do some phenomenal content over there. I love listening to it while I'm working. Great way to learn about prospects, learn about thoughts from a different perspective. They do some good work over there. Make sure you check them out, folks. Appreciate it. Another great day. We're 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. We're going to get into what really takes place. No more speculation. It's going to be epic. With that said, folks, adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.